What's going on is Anton from antondaniels.com. I appreciate you guys for continuing to rock with me. Just preparing for the day, getting it popping. I'm in the studio, so the majority of the videos that I'm gonna be shooting outside of the next week or so. So today I'm gonna be in the studio, tomorrow I'm gonna be in the studio, and then tomorrow night I gotta fly over to a different city. And then this weekend I gotta fly back over to DC for the inauguration and all of the events that's associated with that. But for the most part, we're going to be spending the majority of our time in the studio, making sure that we run it up, take care of business. And couldn't wait to get here. So it's been almost 2 months since I first started having this transformation into the studio. We invested a lot of money, over $100,000, and we actually expanded the studio. So before we get to the thing that's on my mind that I want to convey to you guys, there will be no studio tours publicly. Everything is going to be exclusive just for the bag chasers. And I got some new business ideas that I'm looking to put like $1 million into over the next year or so. So all of that's going to be discussed over the next day or so inside of the Patreon, as well as giving y'all an official studio tour and showing you the expansion that I'm doing. And so essentially the goal is to become my own studio and to kind of be the Tyler Perry of YouTube, minus all of the sassiness and the wigs and stuff. But looking forward to that. So make sure y'all tap into the Patreon. We got Stock Club coming up after that. And then we got Block Club, which, you know, I'm breaking down and showing y'all everything with regard to the houses that I'm building and stuff like that. We got 3 new houses in flight. I can actually show you a picture of one of them. So that's one of the houses. That's the current state of it. And, man, weather changing. And it's tripped out. Anyways, that's not what I wanted to talk to you about. I wanted to kind of break down for you guys my thoughts with regard to this play from this whole California wildfire thing, right? And the reason that I want to do that is because I think that there's more sinister things at play. I don't think it's as simple as just saying, well, you know, fires, burn down, end of the conversation. I don't think that that's it. I think that the play is much bigger than that. I think that Gavin Newsom is ultimately going to try to become president of the United States of America. I know a lot of people are sleeping, but you don't really know how Democrats and politicians play the long game. They don't just look at it and say, well, yep, that's it. We're not doing well. Nah, it's a whole rebrand. It's a lot that's going on right now. I know you guys see where I do a lot of the pre-production, editing, and stuff like that. So a lot of that goes on. That's like kind of like my main desk over there. But again, no full studio tours. But I think that there's more sinister things at play here. Here's the question that we want to ask ourselves. Do the people in California whose homes burned down deserve sympathy? I know it's like a weird question because it's like by default, a lot of people will automatically say, well, yeah, everybody deserves sympathy. Everybody deserves love. Everybody deserves to be prayed for. But do they really? Right? And I'll tell you what I think towards the end of this conversation, but think about it from this lens. I want to look at it from both lenses. The first lens that I want to look at it from is, well, if they voted in the incompetent leaders that ultimately didn't save their homes, or were woefully unprepared, or cut budgets, or however you want to frame it, and they could have mitigated the disaster, or they could have prevented it, or they could have put this fire out a long time ago, or they could have saved more homes, or however you want to frame it. If they didn't because they were unprepared, is that a reflection of the people that voted for them? Are you responsible for your tax dollars being misused, misplaced, under budget, overly taxed, but underrepresented when it comes to the leadership and executive leadership? Because remember, complaints go up, not down. You can't blame the people for giving you the money unless you are responsible for the leader that you elected to manage your money in the first place. Are we making good decisions on the people that lead us? And if not, is it a reflection of the people, or is it a reflection of the leadership, or both? And if you elect somebody who we've been telling you for a long time, hey man, these blue cities, they got some of the worst people ever. They not really good for you. They don't make sense. They got these liberal policies. They focus more on diversity, equity, and inclusion than they are on taking care of business and being about the people and so on and so forth. If the people elect a trash leadership who then is neglectful in being or doing the preventative maintenance or putting things in perspective that would allow for you to be able to save your home, is it their fault? Also, throw another wrinkle in there and say, well, the insurance companies told you all a long time ago that they were actually canceling policies and that they were getting the fuck out of California. They also doing it in Florida. They said, listen, it's a lot of hurricanes. You're below sea level, whatever. They've been telling y'all for a long time that this is coming. And so if you still are there and you choose to live there and your house is submerged underwater, or you ultimately are the one that suffer from these fires because wildfires is just a part of who California is, and your house burns down and you're still there, is it the problem of the leadership or is it your responsibility for what it is that you decided to become a part of? Or should we by default still extend sympathy and grace? But then at the same time, hold people accountable for their actions. I think that two things can be true at the same time. I think that you can have a level of compassion and grace. Also, it does not absolve people from being responsible for the decisions that they make. And you have incompetent leadership. I think it's not a A, B, or C, it's a D, all of the above. And guess what? The people of California, they're not going red. They're not going to vote in different leadership. If Gavin Newsom had the ability to continue to be governor of California, he probably would be. But you know what y'all probably going to do? And this is just my personal prediction. I could be wrong, but usually I'm right. Gavin Newsom will unsuccessfully run for president of the United States of America, but he'll still get half the votes like most people do. Kamala Harris will then ultimately become governor of California, and you guys are going to suffer from it, but you're going to see why we didn't want to vote for Kamala Harris in the first place. And then last but not least, we're going to look at you and say, we told you so, but you'll still be looking for grace or sympathy or empathy. You'll be overtaxed, underrepresented. California is going to completely go to shit. You know what? I'll take that back because there's, again, a more sinister thing at place. And I think that the rebuilding of California 2.0, smart cities, 15-minute cities, is coming. And California is going to be one of the prototypes for it. California, I think that they're doing it over in Arizona. Yeah. I think that y'all just going to keep paying for it. And the problem, and I've been saying this for a long time, is that we don't live to be 1,000 years old. By the time that you figure it out, you've already aged out and nobody cares anymore. Nobody cares about how you feel. The next generation is then going to say, well, you lived your life, let us do what we want to do, and they just going to continue the same trauma. And that's almost like just the circle of life. That's just the way that things go. But y'all let me know what y'all think in the comments. Do you think that we need to extend sympathy for people that continue to vote the same way? Because it's one thing to say, hey, listen, I hope for you, I wish for you the best. And to be honest with you, even back in the day, we would divide ourselves from our votes, but we all still looked at ourselves as Americans. But we become so divisive that I think that there's more extremes on both sides, on both liberals and conservatives, and there is no in-between anymore. And so you just got to pick a side and you roll with it. But y'all let me know what y'all think inside of the comments. Make sure y'all tap into the Patreon so you can see the exclusive. I'm dropping it tomorrow morning. And then tap in for the Millionaire Morning Show today. It's going to be an absolutely awesome show. I love you. I appreciate you. I'm going to holler at you guys later. Peace.